Hey there. Maybe all the haters are right. I truly have no shame. I'm sitting in my very dirty bedroom. It's not dirty. It's just a mess. Sometimes good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Jack Taylor. Sometimes when I wash my clothes, they don't make it all the way into my dresser. I'm going to show you. These are my darks. You know, I don't know, are you guys like me? Especially you men I'm going to talk to. Hello, RJ. Please do, RJ. Good morning, Julie. Thank you for the rose. Hello, Cindy. Thank you for liking my page. And again, I was speaking to the men a moment ago. Are you guys like me, especially the single men? Do you do laundry when your underwear is out? I know I do. And I usually forget that first day. And then I dig around my underwear drawer sort of frantically, hoping that somewhere in the back corner or behind some socks, there's one extra pair. And the crazy thing is there usually is one extra pair of underwear that I missed, like amidst the socks, amidst the everything. Excuse me for my runny nose. Hello, Abby. Thank you for calling me love. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. This is a little show, and I'm bald for anybody. I don't want any false advertisement. Somebody think I'm a gorgeous man full of a beautiful head of hair. That's not me. So back to this. My name's Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. I'm coming at you from Naperville, Illinois. I like to give you a quick tour of where I live and what I'm looking at. And this is a town of about 150,000 people. It is about 35 miles west of Chicago. It is a town I grew up kind of close to. I grew up in Downers Grove, which is about, maybe 10 miles east, which is towards the city. It's an okay place. It's perfect for me. It's a tiny little home. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath ranch with a little fenced yard and a 1.5-car garage. It's just a place I rent. But it's really worked out nicely for me. I don't know how long I'm going to live here, but I know I'm enjoying it while I do. And anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know, and there's a reason. I'm still wearing my hat, by the way. Hello, Shuret, whatever your name is. Yes, hello, Scott Concrete. Hello, Scott Concrete. Hello. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it is a show. Thank you so much, Cindy Strickland, for sharing the live. I'm not totally sure what that means. But I would imagine it gets more people watching, which I think is fun. So anyway, for those who have been watching a while, you know it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot pot of coffee. Probably maybe 1 cup left in the tank, if you know what I'm saying. And I am so excited to drink some. But I just got back from my walk. Let me show you. I was watching a little bit ago. I'll try and remember to talk about that shortly. I'm going to try and take my phone outside. It's in the low 30s, but it's a beautiful day. And I'm going to try and sit outside for a minute. See how it goes. If I'm freezing and it sucks, I'll come back inside. It's kind of hard to do this. Got a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts. It's very complicated what I do, my process. And again, here's where I live. I live on a quiet cul-de-sac. There's the sun rising. I know it's still early January,
But to me, and I could be wrong. Whoa, what's the matter? Did you get... What's the matter, little girl? Well, Holly stepped on something. I don't even understand what you're saying. My phone's too low. There we go. Let's see. You okay? For some reason, it feels like the sun is getting a little brighter. And the days might be getting a little longer. We just got back from our walk. And it was beautiful. And the sun was rising. And I saw a kid on a longboard going back to school. And here it is in January. And I'm sitting outside, about to drink some coffee. And I appreciate it. Keep me focused. Let me take a sip of water first. It's important to be hydrated. Where's my... Did you ever do that? You miss the mouth on the cup? Yeah, there are some pretty trees behind me. It's really beautiful in the fall. Good morning, Katie. Anyway, real quickly, let me take my sip of coffee. I hope wherever you guys are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you. Cheers to us. Wonder how many of you watched my video this morning. You know what kind of coffee I'm drinking if you did. You don't like coffee, Katie? Well, that's okay. I ran into a couple, I was at Starbucks yesterday, and I ran into a couple women. They were drinking some sort of fancy coffee. They were older ladies. They were sweet. They were well-dressed. They looked, surprisingly nice for sitting at Starbucks in Naperville. It was kind of embarrassing, honestly. And I wonder if this has happened to anybody. Yeah, it is the pumpkin spice, Julie. I wonder if this has happened to anybody else. I would think Starbucks should get this fixed. And Starbucks follows my page, so hopefully they're watching today. Have you ever been to Starbucks and you're sitting there drinking a cup of coffee and you get to about, 80, 90% done and you take a big swig and it's kind of already getting tepid at this point, and all of a sudden your mouth feels like it's full of dirt or gravel? I've always had a really weak gag reflex, and I want to gag right now just thinking about the experience. Good morning, Just Todd. Because what happened is sometimes, for some reason, the coffee grounds get in the cup of coffee. And they all settle to the bottom. I assume it's because it's coming out of the bottom of the coffee maker or whatever Starbucks system they use. So I'm sitting there and I'm taking one lusty sip of coffee at the end, really looking, kind of hoping to finish it off so I can go get my free refill. And all of a sudden my mouth's full of grounds. And I'm going, well, you can't swallow this. Because you don't even, at the moment of panic, you're going, I don't even know what's in my mouth, but it's horrible. And I got up, and the sweet, nicely dressed lady's looking at me, and I went outside, and I must say I spat it over a railing. And it was still grossing me out just thinking about it. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't my proudest moment. It wasn't anything I'm hoping to have it happen again. And I came back in, and the two ladies were looking at me and looked a little concerned, and they go, are you all right? And I'm making this kind of face. I'm making this kind of face. Nora's sweet, Tara, but I appreciate the work you're doing. Nora's sweet. She's just a little naughty. And I came back in making this sort of face, and there was grounds in my teeth, and it wasn't pretty at all. But I explained to him my situation. I explained to him I wasn't like drunk or hungover or feeling nauseous. But it was just the way it was. And I do not hide my emotions at all. I can't. I don't know how. Bye-bye. I don't know how. And I'm still living it. I'm still traumatized. Gonna be seeing my therapist. later today, and or not later today, later this week. Maybe I'll have to talk to him about my coffee experience at Starbucks. Anyway, how you guys doing? Gonna have a little more water. Again, it's January. I'm sitting out here in a hat and a sweatshirt. Sun's coming up. It's mid-30s, I think, out here in Naperville. My dog, Holly, look at her. She said, Holly, she's such a good girl. Sometimes when my viewership is dwindling, I'll do a close-up on Holly, try and get more viewers. Sometimes I'll have my son Augie over. Holly and Augie are just pawns in my master strategy to grow my page. All right, Cindy, good for you. It's important we get our sleep. Let me have a little more coffee. Oh, man, just as a prop. I don't normally light candles outside, but I got back from my walk with about 4 minutes till I had to go live. And I brought out my water and my candle and my lighter just for fun, to see how it would go. So I'm going to light the candle out here. Just kind of, yeah. So anyway, what else is going on? Life's good. Woke up with a bunch of negative thoughts going through my head this morning. Talked about it a little bit on on my morning video. Felt real good about my morning video. It's kind of proud. I don't really ever know what I'm going to say. I don't even know what I'm going to say on this. I'm in Naperville, Illinois, which is near Chicago. And I never know what I'm going to talk about on this and or on my morning videos. And look at all the steam coming out my mouth. Look like a dragon. Puff the Magic Dragon. You guys watch Meet the Parents? What's your name? Is it Brandy or Brittany? The one that just asked, is winter over? It seems like winter's over. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if I'm going to get cold and go back inside. It is. It's actually not way too cold. I mean, I'm wearing a hat and I popped on this sweatshirt. Anyone know what this sweatshirt says? Gary Busey. He's in a lot more movies than you remember. Somebody brought up Gary Busey. And don't, my coffee will keep me warm, Tara. Kathy, I appreciate that. But that's the point of my videos. That's the point of my videos. If I chatted with you before I went live, I might run out of things to say. You know? This is what we would have talked about had I reached out to you. Had I reached out to you before I went live. No, I've never seen the Buddy Holly film with Gary Busey. But Gary Busey's kind of cuckoo, I think. And I don't mean to make fun of him at all. But I don't know. I've seen some crazy pictures of him. And see some crazy pictures with him. And, I mean, his characters were always, you know, intense, I guess. But he was in... I saw him in Lethal Weapon. I think he was in the first Lethal Weapon, maybe the second, but maybe the first. I don't remember. He was in Point Break, and he was, what's his name? John Wick's partner. Ted's partner. Give me the name. Help me out. I'm sure you guys know. Or Bill's partner. I don't even remember if it was Bill or Ted, but kind of Keanu Reeves' partner in Point Break. Speaking of Keanu Reeves, I watched Speed again the other day. Thought it was a pretty good movie. Better, you know, I saw it, I think, at the theater when it first came out. I don't know where Gary Busey was from. But I saw it, I think, at the theater, and it was entertaining. And in some ways kind of stupid. But I think some of these movies age better. Can you guys see me, or is my steam throwing you off? Yeah, Speed's actually fairly good, but Jack, you're young. So you probably weren't even alive when it was made. Which is crazy to me. How time flies, or life flies. We think Sandra Bullock resembles Michael Jackson a bit. I don't know, Jack. I don't think Sandra Bullock resembles without a helmet and was a bit off after that. Is that what happened, Johnny Lightning? Hey, Johnny Lightning, by the way, I don't know you, but I think you chimed in. Do you follow my page? And I think you made some insightful comments about my podcast versus social media yesterday, and I want to appreciate that. Well, Kathy, sometimes we're in moods. Moods change. We're not always the same. We're the same person, but we're not always the same people. We don't always show up the exact same, you know. I don't know. You might see me at Starbucks one day. I'm crying because I've got a lot on my mind. But if you come up, I'll usually manage to perk out a smile and say, hey, how are you? Between the tears. Most of the time at Starbucks, I'm highly caffeinated and loud and having fun and smiling and feeling good. So that's my story. So, whoever it was, I appreciate your help on the podcast or your words, because they were both encouraging and sort of insightful. And I've done a lot of thought about it, and a lot of people tell me to do a podcast. And I'm not totally sure why. I really don't think there's a reason. I've done a fair amount of thought about it. Unless somebody gives me a hardcore reason that if I started a podcast today, I'd start earning money tomorrow. And I don't think that's the case. All sorts of things. Chime in, yeah. Thanks, Chera. All right, am I missing the snow? I am. I mean, I'm happy to be here right now. And I just don't see what a podcast is. Get yourself out there. I am. I was thinking about it, and I talked about it in my morning video. I looked at my YouTube analytics, and people are watching like 40 hours a day of my silly videos on YouTube, and it's weird. And I get like 100,000 views here on TikTok. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Was Gary Busey in that? I'm sure I've seen it. You know what's a good kind of Vegas that sort of movie? I just don't see, I'm not against it. I'm not anti-podcast, but I think what I'm saying is I think this is working. You know what I mean? You guys are all watching here, and I talked to Jack last night about it. And I go, well, Jack, if I started a podcast, I'd just have to bring you over there, and you'd be listening to it over there, but you're listening to it here. So why am I going to change my address so we all visit me at a new place, where I got to go and you got to go and we got to take our stuff over there? I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless somebody told me a great reason for it. Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah, I did. Nicolas Cage, he's so cheesy, but I like him. And again, a lot of his movies have aged well. Like National Treasure has aged well. And I was going to say the first movie I ever saw him in was Valley Girl, but that's not true. Yeah, I'm going the other way. That's not true. Can you guys name the first movie that I saw Nicolas Cage in? Yeah, I could. Good morning, Ty. Moonstruck, yeah, but that was late 80s, I think, with Cher. I never actually saw it. Love Vegas. Plenty of restaurants to choose from. There are. Vampire Kiss, I never saw it, but I will say, Raising Arizona, no. Good guess. I saw that in the theater. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And that was early 80s. So that was, and again, Valley Girl was before most of the movies you just mentioned, but Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was a cook. I don't even think he speaks. He was a cook in the diner that one guy gets fired from. Kind of funny movie. And Scott Concrete, you could be right. I do not know what that is. But if that's before Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I would be surprised. Oh, Jack Taylor, you're pretty good at trivia. Could be credited as Nicholas Coppola. But anyway, yeah, he's in a lot of good movies. And again, Valley Girl I thought was awesome. And it was, I was roughly the age of the characters in that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's cool that you guys are familiar. What time do I usually get up, Dave? Or Ken? Dave asked. Today I woke up at 6. I usually wake up between 4 and 5:30, and I woke up. I'm 54. I drink a lot of fluids. I used to drink a lot of beer. Now I drink a lot of coffee and a lot of water. So I wake up and go pee during the night a couple times. And depending my emotions or my chemical balance in my head, sometimes I'll have a lot on my mind and I'll feel the weight of the world and have a hard time going back to sleep. And that was kind of the case today, honestly. But I did manage to go back to sleep. I listened to some positive affirmations and some guy's voice telling me good things about myself. Thank you so much for joining, Billy the Bear, I think is your name. And was able to get back to sleep till about 6 o'clock. And I felt so much better and so much more rested and so much more ready to go than when I was up a few hours earlier and the world seemed like it was pressing down on me. And yeah, Kathy, that happens. And sometimes we feel like it's too much to bear. Ooh, the sun is coming up above a branch. It's kind of blinding me. And I felt that way this morning. And yeah, let me have a little more coffee. RJ, I don't know how much vitamin D we're getting in January, but I could use some more vitamin D. I am blinded by the light. You know who wrote that song? You know who wrote that song? It was sung, the popular version, by Manfred Mann. But who wrote it and did it originally? You got it, Jack Taylor. This isn't even fun. My trivia is too easy. My trivia might be too easy. It's Bruce Springsteen. And, he did it, and it did fairly well. But then Manfred Mann, I believe, remade it, and it got really popular. And I don't like to, I like to keep this PG. But are the words... I got a garbage truck over there. It's not my garbage day. Doesn't the garbage man know I'm doing a live show and I'm doing it outside because the weather's nice? Jack Taylor, of course you want me to do a trivia with Ken just so you can crush me and dominate me. I'm a 50-year-old and everything slows down. Wanted to make a cameo in my video. I should charge, I think the truck said Groot, G-R-O-O-T on it. I should charge them for making an appearance. Having the 50 people watching it. I used to think Dave Garbage Man would be a sweet job. I think it was. And, what was I saying? Oh, about the brand placement. I took my, I wonder what companies pay for brand placement. I wonder what they pay for brand placement, because they obviously do. I own an Audi, and I'm not saying that because I think it's cool, but it's just so relevant in the story, I can't avoid saying it without saying it. And I took my car in to get its oil changed. It was through. And yesterday. And my... which felt great, by the way, because I've been kind of neglecting the car, and my car is very valuable to me because it gets me from A to B, and I'm needing a car to get me from A to B. So anyway, I gave it a little love and got its oil changed, which is kind of expensive. I mean, it was like $140. But anyway, it needed done, so I felt good about that. Plus, I had a million lights going on, like wiper washer fluid running low, and tires not evenly matched, and or evenly pressed. And I was in there, and I watched Iron Man recently, and my stepson, who was 7 at the time, came up to me when I was, I don't know, when we were going in my car one day, and he goes, "Oh, this is a pretty good brand." And he was like 7 years old. He was like 7 years old. It just sounded funny. And I'm betting it's because he watched Iron Man a few times, and that brand is displayed very prominently in Iron Man. And I'm wondering, for instance, what Audi pays to be the car of Iron Man. You know what I mean? And when I find out that information, I'm gonna send Groot a bill, because they got 2 appearances. driving up and down my street. Am I a corporate plug? Not at all. I don't get paid for anything, but I just talk about what I believe in, and I talk about how I'm not a good salesman, and I think I'm a great salesman if I believe in the product. And I think in my life I haven't believed in the product, and this is going to sound weird to you. By the way, the candle's still rocking and rolling. I'm going to have a little more coffee. The longest job I've ever had in my life was a real estate agent, and I did it for 17 years. And I did fairly okay. You know, I did okay. But not great. And it was very frustrating because I'm kind of competitive. I think I cared more about being number one in my office than the money that would go along with that money, with that number one in the office. Does that make sense to you? I was more, I would have rather gotten the first place trophy, like number one agent in the office, than the extra 200 grand I would have made. Oh no. All right, well, Jack, take care of it. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm more competitive than greedy, maybe. I mean, I know you need money, so I don't mean money equals greed, but my motivation comes more from competition than from dollars and cents, I think. But anyway, I don't think I ever really believed in the product that was Ken the Realtor. It kind of feels liberating to say that, Kind of feels liberating to say that. So a lot of times I'll talk on this show or other videos about how I'm not a good salesman. I think I'm really good if I believe in the product. And I didn't believe in Ken the Realtor. I thought I did. I wanted to be it. I thought I looked the part. I thought I acted the part and sounded the part. But deep down inside, I'm not sure I ever believed in the product that was Ken the Realtor. And so right now I'm looking for a job. I was at Audi yesterday, and I've done a video about, hello, Emily, going up and shaking hands with business owners or business managers, and strangely, so weird to me, I got a lot of blowback, and people were saying it's rude and wrong, and you got to make an appointment or do it online. I tell you what, that couldn't be more wrong. That couldn't be more wrong. I mean, do what you want to do, but let me tell you, my best, I believe in me. I believe in me. And if I get in front of a business owner or a manager and I'm able to shake their hands and talk to them a little bit, I think I'm going to impress the heck out of them a lot more than if I emailed them a resume. And I went into the manager at Audi and said, hey, are you guys hiring for anything? I've been a realtor 17 years. I want to switch careers. I want to do something different. And I'd be willing to start anywhere. I'd wash cars. And I chatted for a little while, talked about a little of my experience, and I filled out an application, and, I don't know. I'd love to go in and talk to him. And further and see if it's a good fit with the company, because I like the product. I was just talking about it. Strangely, the dealership I was at, I normally like the atmosphere in this dealership. It's really cool. It's got a great coffee station, but about 2/3 of the dealership was walled off and under construction, and the bathroom was even not accessible, so you had to kind of use an outhouse on the side. But it was a very nice outhouse, by the way. And so I like the atmosphere, I like the product, and I don't know, maybe it could be a career. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I'd love to sit down with this guy and explore it more to see if it would be a good fit for me and good fit for them. Because again, whatever I do, I want it to be a good fit for them and me. Real quickly, I also went to Menards, which was just down the street. Yeah, I've got a lot of pump up songs, but I'm kind of in the zone a lot. Hell's Bells, the start of Hell's Bells is pretty cool. What's the Eminem song? Not 8 Mile, I've been listening to a lot. Not Lose Yourself, that's the 8 Mile one. I'm scared to sing it because it would be so embarrassing. I mean, I sing on these videos. I sing Happy Birthday. Not without me. The videos of two, like, robots wrestling and fighting. I don't know. Maybe somebody will think of it. Not afraid. And I'm not an Eminem expert at all. Man. And he does his list. This is the list that it's in. It goes Jay-Z, Tupac and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Andre and then me, or something like that. Do you guys know what it is? Anyone know? I know it was a horrible version, and again, till I collapse! I'm sorry. Thank you! That would have driven me crazy. Good song, great pump-up song. Thank you, Love in Midwest. Love in Midwest, sometimes you and I aren't copacetic, but you just came through for me big there. So nobody block or mute Love in Midwest for a week because she came through for me big there. That's a good song as well. But anyway, I tend to be pretty pumped up. Oh, anyway, I went to Audi, and that was great. And I was sitting there for about an hour and filled out the application. Oh, and again, I liked the atmosphere there, but about 2/3 of it was shut down, and all the cars were outside. And again, I'm not sure it's going to be perfect. Thank you. Yeah, but maybe you don't need to Love in Midwest. I'm watching out for my own best interest. They actually are. You know, it could be something cool. Anyway, and I am not sure what I want to do. So I went down to Menards, which was down the street, and not nearly as fancy or hoity-toity as Audi, but I would like a job to get started in my next career, not knowing where it would go. And I walked around Menards, and by the way, I didn't know they sold nearly as much food as they do at Menards. They sell a lot of food there. And walked around. I ran into a guy who thought I was a customer because I'm strutting along, kind of dressed up a little more. I don't know. And he asked if he could help me. And he was somewhat impressive. He seemed like not really too fancy for anything. Like I told the Audi guy, I'd wash cars. You know. If it was a fit, if they felt it was a fit, I'd do it. I'm not too proud to do anything. I've been a laborer. I've mowed lawns. I've been a waiter. I've also done very hoity-toity things and fancy things that paid a lot. So I'm not too proud to do anything. But anyway, I talked to a guy, and he was friendly and good and had been at Menards for 5 years. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I asked him, where do you apply? There's a point to this story. And I went up to the office or area where you'd get the application, and I appreciated. By the way, both of them had paper applications, which I appreciated. Yeah, but I want something. I'd like something. And long term, hold on, let me finish the story. So I'm filling out the application at Menards. And I'm sitting here focused and going, oh crap, my last 3 jobs over the last 17 years have all been real estate jobs. And going, okay, what are the roles of my job? And I'm going to rewrite. And I want to screenshot, but I can't because it's a handwritten resume. And I'm writing and really focused, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, how are you doing? And I went like this, wah! And I was terrified. And I jumped and spazzed. And it happened to be the store manager who would walk by and went to the cubicle next to me or whatever. And he was probably about my age, and I asked how long he's been with the company. And he said 29 years. And I go, are you the store manager by chance? And he goes, yes, I am. And I go, well, I hope really jumpy is something you're looking for in an employee. Because he just walked by and said, how are you doing? And I don't know if that ever happens to you, but I was totally focused, totally into what I was doing. And all of a sudden, a voice came out of nowhere, and it was this guy, and I jumped and spazzed. That's my story about that. What do you think about that? So today, it's 8:35. It's January 10th. I've got some coffee left. Very little, to be honest with you. Holly's loving life because look at her. She's just sitting there. Hi, Holly. Good girl. I thought there might be a lack of viewership. You know what I like to do? I like to pop on Holly. Hey, Cindy Strickland, thank you for having somebody join my live. I don't even know what that means. Thank you, Julie Flanagan. I mean, we all need a little boost. But advice? Hi, Gloria. Thank you, Jack. I thought it was. It would have to be. I mean, if I'm him, I wasn't that impressed. I wasn't that impressed. Because I'm not kidding. I was writing, I went, not the first thing I'd look for in a potential employee. But I hope he enjoyed my quick wit. Because it was funny. I mean, we talked for a little bit. And again, I went up and shook his hand. And I guarantee, him seeing me and shaking his hand and looking him in the eye, must have him jumping out of his shirt. All those things must have left some sort of impact. I mean, he'll remember me. He'll remember me. Yeah. It was so funny. Because it wasn't even, but sometimes it'll happen and there's good reason for it. This one was just extra spastic. And maybe it was because I don't know, was drinking coffee at the Audi dealer shortly before. I mean, I'm always kind of drinking coffee. But anyway, I don't know how long I want to talk for you today. I so appreciate you guys joining. Have you enjoyed it outside? I know I've enjoyed it outside. Maybe a little more coffee. Very tepid, Jack Taylor. I mean, it's almost beyond tepid. It's almost approaching cold. And as I did a video last night, tepid coffee is hard to swallow. But cold coffee, ice cold coffee is good, and super hot coffee is good. Great point. I'm not sure what the great point was, but I appreciate that, Jack. Hello, GC Mafia. Where have you been? Yeah, the middle is horrible, and it's not just for coffee. It goes for anything. I can eat pizza right out of the fridge or pizza right out of the oven, but if pizza's sitting on the counter for half an hour, room temperature. You know what I mean? I mean, pizza's always at least fairly good, but you like it, room temperature's not how you want pizza. Probably room temperature's, the only thing you want room temperature is like cookies, crackers, maybe cheese, maybe. Not even totally sure cheese. But for some reason, room temperature isn't the way we like most food or drinks. The world would be, steak off the grill, oh my gosh. Steak off the grill. Scott Concrete. Hello, RJ, welcome back, thank you. I missed you, RJ. My page, my live video's been being tormented and terrorized by haters. For those that watch my videos, and please bear with me, I get a lot of hateful comments, and I'm going to try my best never to respond to them. Never to respond to them. I have not been to Fogo de Chao. It's one of those Brazilian steakhouses. Because as I've said a million times, never argue with an idiot because they'll drag you down to their level and beat the crap out of you with experience. Because they can sit there and they got fake accounts and they can say mean, nasty things. And if I go mean, nasty, you guys don't want to see me being insulting anybody. I don't want to insult anybody. I don't want the hate to be in my heart. And when you engage in an argument with a hater, you are putting some of their hate in your heart. So, here's my strategy. Hello there, Millie. When I get a hateful comment, and you guys read it on one of my videos, know that I've seen it, and I'm saying a little prayer for them, and feeling sorry for them, because they have hate in their soul. And that cannot feel good, because I've had hate in my soul, and I promise you, it did not feel good. So when I see a hateful comment, I'm going to ignore it. I'll read it. I'll go, hey. Yeah, no, think that, Ken saw that, and Ken said a prayer for them, hoping that the hate gets out of their heart, because, wow, I've been there. I've felt anger and rage and pissed off. It's a horrible way to go. Hello, Yvonne. It's a horrible way to go. What kind of coffee do I drink? Right now I am drinking Starbucks pumpkin spice. It's the only kind of coffee I have. Yeah, I'm gonna, and that's my strategy. So kind of support me, because yesterday, and it put me in a bad mood. I was getting like 20. I got like 30 hateful comments, and it's so weird. And one of their comments was so dumb, it was hard not to argue back. You know, why don't I roast my own coffee? I don't know. How would I roast my own coffee? I don't know. How would I roast my own coffee? I wouldn't even know what that means. Yeah, Pete, it can be. And it's TikTok's fault, honestly, because they allow fake accounts to keep popping up. So you can't do anything about the fake accounts or the haters. They keep coming back. They're like cockroaches. Well, about anything. Let's try and change the focus. Well, let me get back to Scott Concrete's talk of the hot steak off the grill. Because even saying it gets my mouth salivating. Even saying it gets my mouth salivating. I'm picturing like a ribeye or something like that. Any steak off a grill. Even a hamburger's pretty damn good off a grill. You know what I mean? Michigan cherry coffee at Meijer. No, I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm in a cheap plastic chair. I'm leaning over because, again, it's so cheap. And by the way, I sat in a red folding up chair last year in the fall when I was doing this show, and it eventually died. The chair, if chairs can die. Yeah, I don't really know how to cook very well at all. But it eventually fell apart all the way. And somebody was saying you look like a homeless man because you're in that red chair. Seemed kind of mean. But anyway, I'm in a very cheap plastic chair, and I'm leaning over. I have a charcoal grill, but I'm not a grill master at all. I'm not a grill master at all. I probably have a charcoal grill because it's cheaper. Which reminds me of Menards. If I get the job at Menards, I'm going to buy a better chair and maybe a fancier grill. I microwave like nobody's business. And I can cook, kind of. I'm a good single-man cook. I can cook up a frozen pizza. I can brew up a salad. I can make pancakes. I can cook pasta. That sort of stuff. Frederick's brand coffee at Meijer. You will cook. Evan! You really like me, Evan. I had a man kind of saying sort of lewd things to me the other day. And I'm not talking about suck number. I did a video about suck number. Pancakes are great at anything. But I had a guy comment on some of my videos, so it was bordering on lewd. I mean, it was honestly, and I don't care what anybody does with their private life. It probably would have been lewd even if it was a woman saying it. Yeah, it would have been. So maybe it's not because the guy was a man. But either way, that's the end of that story. Flirting a little aggressively. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. My coffee's almost done. It is 8, almost 45. And I so appreciate you guys for watching and tuning in and joining me today. I hope you enjoyed me sitting outside. I'm getting a little chilly. And I'm looking forward to going inside, getting my day. I mean, my day's been started for several hours, but continuing on my day and seeing where it takes me and getting a lot of stuff done. And most important, being a little kinder to myself. In church the other day, I don't know, the pastor asked us to turn to somebody and give us a goal for 2023. And a woman that was sitting kind of near me, I looked at her and going, being kinder to myself. And she goes, I was going to say be kinder to my kids. I think once we learn to be kinder to ourselves, and because again, my inner voice can be very cruel and very mean, and I, get angry at myself, and I need to work that out and get rid of that. Because I'm sure, in life when I'm walking around and if I ever get angry at somebody, I'm sure it's mostly the anger I put on myself and the frustration I am with myself. So I think, thank you, Scott. I think, when we work through that, I think we can be better people to the other people in our lives. So I'm going to try and be kind to myself, I guess is my point today, and get a bunch done and feel good and love myself. And I hope you guys do the same. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you are feeling good. You are excited about this day. Look at the blue sky. It's so pretty. You know what I mean? It feels like it's spring already. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed today's live. I hope you follow my page. I hope you like my videos. And you're loving yourself. You're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.